Alright, hi. Welcome to today's kind of special video. So the other day, I read a bill introduced in Congress on Tuesday, December 9th, introduced by Democrat Congressman H.Res from Michigan, that basically calls for the impeachment for the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. Well, we have another impeachment that actually was voted on uh, during the day yesterday, on Thursday, December 11th. And it's pretty much what I also kind of mentioned in the video, kind of briefly. It's impeachment against Donald Trump, President of the United States. It'll technically be the third introduced this year against him, or something like that. I don't remember what number it is for this year, but it was introduced. The House actually kind of voted on it a little bit in Congress, but they voted to table it, or in other words, to kill it, and it succeeded. So, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and read this entire impeachment right here. It was introduced by Al Green, a Democrat from Texas, and it is called H.Res 939. So I will read it in full. Impeaching Donald John Trump, President of the United States, for high crimes and misdemeanors. Resolved that Donald John Trump, President of the United States, is an abuser of presidential power who, if left in office, will continue to promote the incitement of violence, engage in vicious hate, undermine our democracy, and dissolve our republic. That he is impeached for high crimes and misdemeanors, and that the following articles of impeachment be exhibited to the United States Senate. Articles of impeachment exhibited by the House of Representatives of the United States of America in the name of itself and of the people of the United States of America against Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America, and maintenance and support of its impeachment against him for high crimes and misdemeanors. Article 1. Abuse of presidential power by calling for the execution of members of Congress. In his conduct, the office of President of the United States, Donald John Trump, in violation of his constitutional oath to faithfully execute the office of President of the United States, and to the best of his ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States, and in violation of his constitutional duty to take care that the laws be faithfully executed, has unfaithfully, dangerously, and unconstitutionally abused his official position by threatening Democratic lawmakers in Congress with execution. President Trump called for the execution of 6 Democratic lawmakers, all of whom are currently serving in the U.S. Senate or U.S. House of Representatives, and who previously served in the U.S. military or in U.S. intelligence committees, in response to a short video that they posted on November 18th, 2025. Yeah, remember that? In their video, the Democratic lawmakers appropriately urged current members of the military and intelligence communities to adhere to the Constitution and the laws of our country. They specifically said, like us, you all swore an oath to protect and defend this Constitution. Right now, the threats of our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders. You can refuse illegal orders. You must refuse illegal orders. No one has to carry out orders that violate the law or our Constitution. On November 20th, 2025, in response, President Trump called for their execution In one social media post, he wrote, "It's called seditious behavior at the highest level," in all caps. Each one of these traitors to our country should be arrested and put on trial, in caps. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. We won't have a country anymore. An example must be set, also in all caps. President DJT. In another, he wrote of the lawmakers, seditious behavior, in all caps, punishable by death, that in all caps. Dangerously and unconstitutionally, he reposted a third party's post, hang them, George Washington would, all in caps. President Trump's call for the execution of lawmakers is a reckless and flagrant abuse of presidential power that promotes extrajudicial punishment and the assassination of members of Congress, and warrants impeachment by the the U.S. House of Representatives and trial by the Senate. Article 2. Abuse of presidential power to intimidate federal judges in violation of the separation of powers and independence of the judiciary. In his conduct of the office of President of the United States, Donald John Trump, in violation of his constitutional oath to faithfully execute the office of President of the United States, and to the best of his ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States, and in violation of his constitutional duty to take care that the laws be faithfully executed, has unfaithfully, dangerously, and unconstitutionally abused his official position by threatening federal judges. President Trump has fostered a political climate in which lawmakers and judges face threats of political violence and physical assault, and in this climate has made threats and repetitive comments against federal judges, putting at risk their safety and well-being, and undermining the independence of our judiciary. Case in point, in response to a federal district court ruling with which President Trump disagreed, he posted, "This radical left lunatic of a judge, a troublemaker and agitator who was sadly appointed by Barack Hussein Obama, was not elected president. This judge, like many of the crooked judges I am forced to appear before, should be impeached." Impeached in all caps. Another U.S. District Chief Judge has reported receiving increased numbers of violent threats, particularly after he began hearing arguments in a lawsuit against the Trump administration. In 2025, roughly a third of the federal judiciary has been flooded with threats, with data showing that these threats spike each time Trump used abusive rhetoric against judges. On May 2nd, 2025, Reuters reported that U.S. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson addressed President Donald Trump's attacks on the judiciary. The relevant part of the article stated as follows. 1. U.S. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson said on Thursday, attacks by Republican President Donald Trump and his allies on judges were not random and seemed designed to intimidate the judiciary. 2. Specifically, U.S. Supreme Court Justice Jackson remarked that the attacks are not random. They seem designed to intimidate those of us who serve in this critical capacity. 3. Justice Jackson added, the threats and harassment are attacks on our democracy, on our system of government, and they ultimately risk undermining our Constitution and the rule of law. The judiciary is afforded power over all cases in law and equity arising under this Constitution, the laws of the United States, and treaties made, and controversies to which the United States shall be a party. U.S. Constitution, Article 3, Section 2. intimidating judges and recklessly calling for the impeachment and removal of judges who disagree with him demonstrate a willingness by Trump to usurp authority afforded by our Constitution to the judiciary and demonstrate a disregard for the Constitution and the careful balance of powers that protects our country from abuses by any single branch. President Trump's threats place the lives of federal judges, court officials, and innocent bystanders at risk, promote the incitement of violence, and undermine our democracy, which cannot survive where President Trump's incendiary comments engender invidious hate and where dissent is punishable by death. In all of this, Donald John Trump has acted in a manner contrary to his trust as president and subversive of constitutional government to the great prejudice of the cause of law and justice and to the manifest injury of the people of the United States. Wherefore, Donald John Trump, by such conduct, warrants impeachment, trial, and removal from office. So yeah, that was H.Res 939. So, what do you think? Do you think he should technically be impeached and removed from office? Let me know down in the comments below. With that, there is a legit bill to impeach Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who is the current Secretary of Health and Human Services. It is on the Congress official website, although there is no official text. So as soon as the text of that gets released, I will do a video of that. So, with that being said, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video, whatever it may be. We'll see you then.